Hey, Ryder, welcome. Good to see you again. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Today's gonna start off, well, it'll start off with a fight. But then we're gonna do a couple of things that are gonna be a little slow in the middle as we work at the Mirror of Loss, but then hopefully we can end up with a good fight at the end too. So I'm looking forward to it. Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode number 43 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode gameplay series. I'm Commander Jarval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on admin notes, the Larian team put out a community update 33 on the 28th of this week, and it really just lets everybody know that the stress test for patch 8 is now live. It repeats a few of the things that we already knew about the patch with crossplay and all the split screen co-op stuff, and there's also a register link in there as well. They did go into a few new highlights, and a bunch of those we knew about, the photo mode, the subclasses, and all that sort of stuff. But there is a small list of gameplay and combat and other fixes that they made, and it's funny because there are a few quality of life changes in this list that the community has been asking um, for quite a while, and there's also some fixes that have been the rage of honor mode streamers, especially for a long time. Um, so I'm not going to go through them all, but a couple of them, whenever you succeed in a perception check that's passive, meaning when you're just walking around and it happens, the item is now going to show up as a ping on your mini map. So in the upper right hand corner, you'll see that ping. The same as if you hit P on the keyboard, it will ping on your mini map, but you will also get a notification in the combat log. There's been a lot of people who have been running around and they pass a passive perception check in the background and they either can't see the glow because it's something really small. This is especially about the loose brick in the wall in the down by the shore in Act 2 in the Shadowlands. where the ambush happens. That was always very hard to spot. But some things like the small loose bricks that we saw last week in the sewers and that sort of stuff, this will now ping on the minimap where it was, as well as give you a notification on the combat log, so you know to be looking for a loose brick or something like that. So that's something that people have been asking for a very long time, and I'm glad to see that they're doing it. The next thing, finally, they fixed the bug with the moving platform in the Gauntlet of Szarr. Well, I will say they supposedly fixed the bug with the moving gauntlet in the platform of Szarr. So that now when you stand your party on it and it takes off, it's not going to leave you behind, and you're going to fall to your death and end your honor mode playthrough. This has been reported for a very long time, and I guess they finally got around to finding it or isolating it or whatever, but that has now been fixed. We are obviously past that point. We discussed it when we got to that point in our playthrough. But yeah, that's something big that they fixed as well. So I have mentioned before, I am not part of the stress test for patch 8. I am not really, I don't do any of the things that they're really interested in testing. I don't play on console, and I don't do crossplay or anything like that. So I'm not a person that is best suited to test those things. It would get me early access to the rest of the content in patch 8, but that's not what I'm here for. That's not what the patch test or the stress test is really about. So I didn't sign up for it. I'm gonna wait for the patch 8 release, and just like everybody else, and we will dive into that once we get it and once it releases. So I think that's it on our admin notes. On our recap, at the end of last week's episode, we ascended Astarion. Astarion now gets a big boost in his necrotic damage that he's able to deal by stacking up an additional 1d10 on every unarmed attack that he makes. So that was a lot of the purpose behind doing it. The Ascended Bite is also a very good thing to have with the additional healing that it brings in and all of that sort of stuff. But we got a big boost for Astarion at the end of last week's episode, and that's where we're going to jump in here, because I couldn't leave. I couldn't do anything off stream last week because I can't leave here without doing something that we need to show. So let's go ahead and jump back in here and we can talk about that. Okay, so here we are, right where we left off at the end of last week's episode. Remember, I have broken my oath. That is a consequence of allowing Astarion to ascend with me as a paladin. That has broken my oath. We're going to keep this oath broken condition for a little bit, and that's because there's a possibility we could break our oath again this episode. So we're just going to keep this here for now. It's not really going to hurt us. It just means that we can't use our channel oath charges, which means it's going to cancel out Inquisitor's Might for us, but I'm not too worried about that at this point. So let's go ahead and head back. We talked about this last time. None of the enemies that you find in here are going to have anything. Well, none of the bats and hunters and all that sort of stuff that you're going to find in here are going to have anything. And we're going to make our way up to this point, and then we're going to put everybody in hiding and break our group.
Now what? A very penetrable pocket.
We're going to bring Astarion up here, and that's because we have a group of people that are waiting for us. We had talked to Ulma beforehand. She had wanted us to come in here and rescue the Gur children. The Gur children were here, and obviously because of Astarion ascending, they have all died, as well as all of the thralls that were here. So Ulma's obviously going to be upset about that, and we need to go up here and have a conversation with her about that.
I had hoped to avoid this path. I had hoped you would choose the better road. A fool I was to ever hope a beast like you could be saved.
Oh, please. There's no need for such language. I promised you Cazador's death, and I more than delivered.
You think we will see one evil replaced by another? No. With me! Destroy the beast!
Okay, and that's going to start us into combat with Ulma and the group she's with. Now, there's no way for us to really avoid this. There is a way to avoid it. We could go invisible, and we could all traipse up to the dais individually, but that's not really what we're here for. We're going to deal with the consequences of our decision, and that means we have to deal with Ulma here. So what I'm going to do here is kind of focus a little bit outside of Ulma to start, and that's just because I want to get over here and start off with some resonation. Okay. Great way to start. Get the nat 1 out of the way right off the bat. Okay, and then follow it up with a nat 20. Yeah. Rolled a nat 1 and followed it up with a nat 20. So we're going to key resonate here. Okay, and then we're going to flurry of blows here. Will allow us to detonate. And then we're going to get Shadowheart involved here.
No time to dally.
And the detection cones up here are a little strange. That's because of the stairs. So just be aware of that. The dais here, the stairs, they appear to be blocking some of these detection cones, but in reality, they're not. So you just kind of have to watch what's happening here. So I'm going to throw this kind of back here a little ways.
Let's see this done.
Don't be shy.
I'm going to get Karlak up. And see if we have any ranged targets here. We do.
Good idea, Karlak.
Hey, Rudy, welcome. Good to see ya. Hope you had a good week. Now we're going to enrage throw on the same target. And with our last attack here, hopefully we can get a kill. Nice.
Does this count as adventuring? Have to keep going.
Now, most of the detection cones here should be actually blocked by the darkness. We're not going to click on the dais here to move up. We're just going to kind of move, and to walk onto the dais, you have to hold shift. If you hold shift, it moves into the force walk pathing. So you can hold it down and walk onto the dais here. Okay, and I definitely want to get rid of her. Don't think I can do enough damage here. I can't.
I missed this.
Got to concentrate.
See if Shadowheart can land here. Perfect. Get rid of the ranged enemy there.
On I go.
Move Shadowheart up into the darkness.
Alright, Karlak. It's go
Karlak,
time.
I can move back a little bit,
Jimmy on the
so in
go.
case they move towards her, they'll have to dash. Just like that. Hey, Astamura, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Hope you had a good week. So, let's go ahead and finish this off. Okay.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, whoops. Can't do that. Need to use our bonus action here. And that'll be it.
Need to stay focused.
Shadowheart, I'm not too worried about. Let's get Karlak to get
On
the
my
kill
word.
here.
Handy.
Shouldn't be much of a problem. With her 4 throws per turn. Unless we keep throwing nat ones. There we go.
Oh, that was very, very satisfying. Who better to test these new powers?
Okay, so who is Astarian has carrying
And
capacity?
who better to be standing by my side than you, who helped me get here?
So we'll just go through and pick up everything here real quick.
On my way. What's in here?
There's a bunch of +1 weapons and armor that's down here that you can pick up. And then you have Ulma. Ulma has a camp chest key, which we can go look at here in a little bit, but she has Undead Bane. This comes with Slay the Wicked, so this weapon deals an additional 1d6 slashing damage against fiends and undead. It's all the time. It's just an added bonus that gets thrown on only against fiends and undead. It also comes with a proficiency unlock, the Profane Scourge. So this is basically whenever you hit a fiend or undead with this, once per short rest, you deal an additional 2d6 damage, and you possibly Bane it. And Bane is the opposite of Bless, so it's going to have negatives to its saving throws and that sort of stuff. Not something that we're going to be utilizing. Okay, and now let's take a quick look at some of the things around here. I did want to show you one thing in particular. I will show you the other one as well, but we're not going to do a full exploration down here. We're just going to go take a couple of look at things. So first of all, we're going to head down here.
Wretched thing, pull yourself together.
And we're going to get everybody featherfalled. And then we can jump down here.
I'm ready. Let's see.
Hey ho.
Okay, thanks, Karlak. Appreciate it.
Someone there?
Okay.
Never a dull moment.
Now,
What am I to do?
before we go in here, I'm going to have Shadowheart. Well, let's make sure she has... a shield that has advantage on perception checks. Then have her walk in here. Okay, there's the perception check. And then while it's still running, I'm going to have her dig up this dirt mound. And there's the second one. That perception check is letting you know that the casket here is trapped.
I must keep going.
Tread lightly.
Can't remember what the DC is here, but 15, so only fail with a nat 1. Nice try, game. And in here is the Pellersun Blade. I had talked about this last week, that if you are looking for something to help you deal radiant damage, the blade is down here to do it. Attack rolls with this weapon have advantage against the undead, which all of the vampires were up there. And it also deals 1d4 radiant damage. The 1d10 necrotic is from my Ascension, so disregard that. But the rest of it is very, very useful for especially your Gloomstalker, Assassin, Rogue builds and that sort of stuff in the fight against Cazador. So if you need to come down here and pick this up before you go upstairs, then go ahead and do so. So, hey Throw, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you here. Yep, Ben, this is episode 43 of our Honor Mode playthrough, so, but welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. So that's not something that we're going to be focused on. We're not going to need it. So I'm just going to send that off to camp along with WoW. We talked about this after we loaded it. I don't need it either. So then we can continue looking around in here. There's not a whole lot to see inside this room except, well, these I think are water. Yeah, these are water you can walk in. Okay, there is a crypt gate here. We'll lead you through. There's nothing in this room here. We'll lead you through into this. Now, this room, do not step into the caustic brine here. Okay, it will deal acid damage to you. So be careful where you path around here. Some poisons, various other things. And a purple worm toxin. Now for this, I'm going to make sure that Astarion is buffed up as much as we can get him. And I want to bring my bard in here as well. Actually, I'll bring my bard and Shadowheart in here. Again, I'm going to be careful with their pathing, so I'm going to wait till they're all grouped up. Yeah, Karlach is disguised right now. She has used the shape-shifting helm to disguise her into a gold dwarf, and that's simply so that she can get the damage bonus from the dwarven thrower. So she's going to be dealing that extra 1d8, and if the target's large, huge, or gargantuan, she's going to be dealing 2d8. So that's why she looks a little bit like that. Okay, so I'll group Astarion up here, and we're going to have a go at this gate. Let me swap out this to add the +2 to sleight of hand there. He's already got the happy condition. He's got Mark of the Shifter now. So we're going to have him attempt to lockpick this. This is a DC 30. So it's a pretty sporty check here. We've got advantage with Cat's Grace. We can throw in our guidance, and we can throw in an improved Bardic Inspiration as well. So now we've got a much more decent chance of passing this. There we go. That'll be a good size number. Oh, almost a 40. And this is going to open up a way up to the sewers. Okay, so we'll take a look at that here in a little bit.
Yes, let's.
But first, let's continue looting around here.
Don't mind if I do.
Crafting ingredients. Scroll of Cloud Kill, really nice. Scroll of Dimension Door, very, very nice for something we're going to be doing later on. More crafting ingredients. More crafting ingredients. Ray of Sickness is meh. And then the Metal Trunk here with Malice. So to blind people at range, really nice.
Still in control.
So, just to show you what this is. Okay, you're now out here in the Lost City sewers. So this is this door's down here at the bottom. You can approach it from the other way, and it kind of lets you know with the vampire fangs here that this is another entrance into Cazador's dungeon, but this is normally closed. You can't get in here. The only way to get in here is by unlocking it from the inside first. The headless ghost we'll be seeing more of a little bit later. Okay, but we're going to stay in here for now. And again, I want to be a little careful about my pathing. Okay. And now I'm done down here. There is something else here. Okay. There is a platform here that you can trigger it, and it will, using this button right here on the wall, and it will go up and down. Okay. However, just like all moving platforms in this game, and we just talked about it in the admin notes before the episode started, I do not get on those when I'm in honor mode. The collision boxes and that sort of stuff in the game can sometimes be a little bit janky, and I don't want to be riding this up and down in honor mode. Have somebody fall through it or path off the side of it, or it just leaves me behind when it moves. I don't want to take the chance and lose that character and or end my run. So the easiest way to get back up is simply to fast travel back up to the waypoint that's up here. Okay. And that gets us over here to the same side where we just were, just one level up. Okay, now Velioth here needs a wisdom check, and it is a straight wisdom check. It is not a wisdom saving throw or anything like that. It is just a straight check on wisdom. So I've got a +5 here from Shadowheart. So that's who we're going to go in with.
I must keep going.
To click on this. I don't believe, well, let me just be on the safe side here. I don't think it's a check that I can modify with these things, but I will shapeshift Shadowheart as well. And let's make sure we put Astarian's Eversight ring back on. And we'll go here with Shadowheart, and we'll click on Velioth. Now, you don't have to pass any of these checks. You're going to get the same result no matter what.
On the pillow rests a skull with a scroll clamped in its bony jaws. The skull's empty eye sockets flare with an eldritch gleam. You feel invited somehow to witness the skull's memories. It seems urgent. This skull is all that remains of the vampire Velioth. He turned Cazador, gave him the gift, and then taught him the rules of vampiric existence.
And here's the wisdom check. So Mark the Shifter does impact it. So I guess good thing that we did it. We can add in a bonus here. We can add guidance on top of this. We can add Al's wisdom. We might as well. I've got a spell slot for it. So now we're getting a much better chance here.
Velioth's first lesson is always to dominate. Allow none to be your equal. Velioth recalls when Cazador reached out to a former friend. His punishment was to watch as Velioth drained his friend dry.
Okay, here's the second lesson. See how strong advantage is. We don't need it on the second one. You're going to get situational bonuses here after you pass the first one.
Velioth's second lesson is that power comes from solitude. To share with others is to be weak, and to be weak is to fail and die. Velioth recalls when Cazador rebelled against him. Cazador suffered 11 years of impalement because he failed.
And here's the third lesson.
Velioth's third lesson is to act not in haste. A near immortal has time to plan, time to act only when others will pay the price of action. Velioth recalls Cazador, his lessons learned, killing him in the rite of perfect slaughter. How they both laughed. Velioth recalls Cazador boiling the flesh from his skull, and then, to mock him, clamping his schooling scroll in Velioth's jaws. The skull's eyes flash a final time, and its jaws sag open. The scroll with all of Cazador's rituals is yours. Velioth is no more.
And that's going to get us the Black Mass Scroll. Here. You can read this, and it talks about the rituals here that were involved, including the rite of profane ascension that we obviously know about now. And this is supposed to be the clue that leads you into the words that Astarion says during the rite at the end. He's going to say them, as we saw, regardless of whether you got this scroll or not, and that's why I didn't go through this last week. We didn't need to. It's just, like I say, something that adds to the lore and the history behind what you're looking at. Hey, the Pro Guy, welcome. Yep, we are going through on our way out here and doing some exploration inside Cazador's dungeon. So we're not going to do the whole palace here. But we will look at some stuff on the way out. So some arrows, some gold stuff that we can pick up. And again, this is Cazador's room here, his bedroom. So you can read through all of this stuff. There's some more lore here, but again, not something that... if you want to read through them all, you can go through my previous playthroughs where we explored all of these things. It's not something I'm going to go through now. There's nothing that's seriously important. There's just a bunch more lore in here. Okay, a letter here, which again is talking about Cazador and his infiltration into the power systems of Baldur's Gate. But again, nothing that's going to lead to any quests or any side things or anything like that. Just some more lore.
One step at a time.
Okay, and that will clear out Cazador's... Actually, it won't.
All right.
Yeah, this one goes nowhere, but we'll get the Chasm Creeper here. And yeah, that quest marker's back there at the door that we looked at. There's nothing to explore here inside of his chamber or anything like that. So yes, we can
At least things have stayed interesting.
head back up.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
The elevator lies ready to carry you back up to the palace.
And this being a cutscene based one, you don't have to worry about falling through it. Okay, now we're back up in the Szarr Palace. So I'm not gonna go through everything that's here in the Szarr Palace. There's a bunch of stuff. This is Cazador's office. There's a bunch of stuff in here that we can loot.
Dream in red.
And I'm gonna loot all of this stuff off stream. And then what I am gonna show you though is the two side doors here, and how they function with each other. So I'm gonna split off my barge. We're gonna come over here again. There's a bunch of stuff in here to loot. Okay, and there's a button here, but first we're gonna go up the iron ladder. Okay, there's again some more stuff that we can, some more portraits and stuff that we can loot up here. There's a button. Will lead us into this room. There's more stuff to loot in here. And again, more trash that you can loot through here. But if you hold left alt, you can see there's a button that's kind of hidden back here. Gonna move the trunks out of the way, and that's gonna open up this door. And again, more stuff in here that you can loot, but there's a ladder. Okay, the ladder will take you up, and more stuff that you can loot. And inside that pouch is the silver key. Okay. And like I say, I'm going to come back and loot all of this off stream. So it's just a bunch of trash and that sort of stuff that we can pick up. But as I've always said, in honor mode, you pick up all of the garbage. Every single bit of it you pick up so that you can turn around and sell it. Okay, so over here you can hit the hatch. Now you notice when we come down here, this door is open, but this door is closed. Okay, so if we hit the button here, that's going to close this door, but it's going to open this one. And I'm going to take everybody else into this room. Okay, I'm going to cast Guidance of Shadowheart. And again, bunch of stuff that we can loot in here, including the paintings like we've talked about previously. And there's an opulent chest that has the counting house safe number 1 key. Okay, I told you that we're collecting those. We're going to be going through all of those a little bit later. What you don't see, and there's a button here. This button will close this door and open the one on the other side. We don't want to do that though. What we want to do is just move the opulent chest, and there's a hatch underneath of it. That hatch uses the silver key that we picked up from the attic. Okay. Now, in here, you get introduced to a mechanic that we've seen before. you see it goes click. Very similar to when we set on the chairs inside of the Blighted Village, and it opened up a secret door that allows that door to open. Okay, now out here we're going to split our group, have Shadowheart cast guidance.
Just avoid that.
Okay, there's a trap there. And a trap there. Okay, and you want to avoid stepping on those, except for the pathing in this game. Jeez. I clicked over here and she went out of her way to walk over and step on it. Yeah, you want to avoid
What now?
stepping on those. We're going to re-equip the Smuggler's Ring. And we're going to add the silver pendant to this. Oh, come on. Oh, that bug again. We're going to take Astarion up here and disarm these. Okay, they're pretty high DCs. Woof. We're gonna need some rolls here. There we go. Got good rolls on Mark of the Shifter and Guidance. I'm also going to disarm the Gargoyle Heads. One more. Easy. $41. Nice. Like seeing the 40s. You don't see them very often. And now when you step on these, you don't have to worry about flames coming out. That one's going to click. That one's going to click. That one. And that one. Now when you do it, that door closes and this door opens. Okay, so I'm going to make my way around the outside here. There's a gargoyle head here. Okay, and then we're going to go around to the other side. And there's another gargoyle head here. Nat 20. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to break my group and take
What's next,
Shadowheart
I
up
wonder?
here. And you need to be careful where you're walking here.
Trump.
And there's the vent. And now I'll take a Starian.
Over there.
Up here to disarm it. Okay. And again, we have the chest is locked, but we do have crates. And now the chest is unlocked.
I'll just help myself.
Okay, and in here, an Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength, incredibly useful for us with our builds, as well as some gold. There is a confession here, which you can read. There's nothing in particular about it, but he's one of Cazador's captives. Okay, and that is it in here. Okay, so now how do you get back out of here? Well, you can fast travel out. You're not red bordered, but if you move one of the crates, it's going to close that door and open this one back up. There's nothing in the crates. They're just movable objects for you down here. Okay, and that'll bring you back up here into this room that you were in. You can now leave here. Switch back to my bard, and I can hit this button again, and that will reopen the door. Okay, so that's how you get through that. And again, all the bodies in here, you're not going to be able to loot anything from the bodies except the party guests, but there are other things in here I'll come back and loot. All of the paintings that are low on the walls, you can take those. So I'll come back and pick all of those up. You can loot all of the dead servants' bodies in here and that sort of stuff. But other than that, we are done with the Szarr Palace. Now, remember I told you that I have broken my oath, okay? We are going to take a short rest here. Actually, I'll use my Song of Rest. Okay, that's going to get all of our key points back, my bardic inspirations, and that sort of stuff. Because we still have a lot of action economy here available to us, and we're going to go use that.
I've got a long road
And we want to use it in a way that is somewhat smart for us, and that's we're going to go do something here that would also break our oath as a paladin, but since it's already broken, we don't want to pay gold to get our oath back and then break our oath again and have to pay double that gold to get it back again. Okay, so we're going to go do something right now that would break our oath, but since it's already broken, isn't going to matter. And for that, we're going to go all the way back to the Basilisk Gate.
Another step forward.
While we're on our way back,
What's hiding here?
we'll stop here in the mailbox. You can pick up some more lore and that sort of stuff. here. And then you have this door.
Watch your back.
Strung up to die by the city.
With pleasure.
A real people's broadsheet.
Okay, and in here, you're going to see a body.
It was a clean decapitation. I'll give them that.
Okay, there are some things in here that we can quickly pick up. And we're going to close this door behind us. Just in case, because he is marked as steel. And here you have the clown's severed pelvis.
Another bit of clown.
Okay, and that's going to advance the Find Dribbles the Clown quest. And you find out that Orin is the one who has dismembered him. And has spread his body all over the place. So I believe we have the torso, the hand, and the pelvis now. So we found his pelvis, we found his torso, we found his hand. Okay, so we got 3 more pieces left. Okay, I was afraid of that. I don't know if you saw that. When Reagan Splint, one of the NPCs, saw us coming out, they called thief. And that means they're calling the City Watch right now to come investigate. So we immediately fast traveled out to camp. And we're going to let that kind of settle down a little bit. The Flaming Fist are going to show up. They're going to start questioning people. And we don't want to be around while that happens. Because they're going to try and question whoever did the stealing, which was Astarion. Astarion does not have great conversational skills, so we don't want him to be questioned. That might lead to a fight that we don't want. He's got Bardic Die available to him.
Whatever comes,
that's right, he does
I'm ready.
have that available to him. Let's check our reactions while we're here.
Still alive, so that's progress.
Just make sure all of our reactions are on ask. They are. Okay, so we're not going to go back there immediately. Let's go to the lower city central wall first. Okay.
Should mind my step.
City Watch doesn't appear to be after us down here, so it looks like the coast is probably clear.
Very well.
We just quickly sell off some of the stuff that we've picked up.
Easier to don some armor than learn to swing a sword. If you can manage the extra weight, that is.
Okay, there's not a whole lot here. But we will just clean it out real quick, might as well. Okay, Astarion is going to be carrying most of the junk. And we don't need the +1 longbows. Don't need any of the +1 armors either. Okay, and I think That's probably good. We can get rid of these 5. We can get rid of... No, we can't get rid of that pouch. Because I believe there's another soap bar up here. There is. Okay. So we'll balance that out. Take another free 2,000 gold.
The way I see it.
And now we'll head back to the Bhaalist Gate. Things should have calmed down over here. We can make our way around the back. Okay, you see we got a quest marker here for the Murder Tribunal. And that wants us to go to Candlehallow's Tombstones.
That's twice what you just said.
We have the key, the Tombstone shop key. Remember we got that from Baldur when we killed him.
Well, hello.
And again, just a few things that we can pick up in here. Not a whole lot. Okay, so in the second room, again, just a couple of things we can pick up.
A fine selection of tongs. The one indispensable tool of the artisan's workshop, it seems. Tongs. So many tongs.
I love the narration that they've added to some of these things. And I'm gonna break my group.
My faith protects me.
With Shadowheart, cast guidance again. Because this perception check is not easy. Yeah. Perception check's a DC 25. Okay. You don't need to pass it.
How delicious. This way.
To know what it
Still
is. And if
breathing,
they can't pass it,
despite
nobody else
everything.
is going to be able to pass it. So, unless they roll a nat 20. What it is it lets you know that there's something behind the
There is
painting
work
here.
to do.
But there's a button back here. Okay, so let's do a little looting here and then we'll press that button.
Easy.
Oof. Tried to fail it. Okay, and then we'll press the button. Hello? And that's going to open up this cellar door here.
Let's move.
The locked door has red text on it reading, "All are awaited, all are embraced. None shall escape."
Okay, and this is going to lead us... We knew the password. We got the password from Baldur. That's why it gave us the option of that. And now we have progressed the Impress the Myrtle Tribunal here. Okay. So down here, again, not a lot to take a look at, but we will just quickly pick these things up down here so that we don't have to go through them again.
I wonder.
And here you get a cute little sign.
Flaming
There's
fists
flaming fists
this way.
this way. Little hint, don't go that way.
Moving.
And we're gonna make our way through here. And we can get over here. At this point, I'll break the group and I'll take Astarion down here. And as long as you stay over here to the right, you'll be fine. Okay, not a whole lot down here, but it is some extra loot you can take. If you progress down through here, there's a couple of tripwires that are really hard to see down here, that will trigger a huge trap down here. So you can fly past it if you want as well,
Shouldn't have wished to live in
but
more
there's no real
interesting
need to deal
times.
with it at all.
I'll give it a shot.
As soon as you come in here, you're going to get a cutscene.
Light on my feet.
Present me well from gifts thine own, or I shall rend thy flesh from bone.
Okay, now here is where the severed hands come into play. There are multiple ways to get severed hands. We picked up a bag of hands from Dolor when we killed him. If you killed Gale way back when you met him at the start of Act 1, his severed hand will work. If you kill Gortash, his severed hand will work. Dribbles the Clown's severed hand will work. A bunch of different hands will work. However, if you haven't killed them yourself, then you have to pass a deception check to try and convince them that you were the one that actually killed him. But for us in this playthrough, things are going to be a little bit different. Okay? So I'm going to take the first option here.
A grasping hand, an offering vile. Enter now the Dreadlord's trial.
Okay. Now, these three are Death Knights. Very similar to the Oathbreaker Paladin. Okay, so they have really high stats, a really high armor class. They have Soul Oath. Okay, so this is the key to dealing with them, is once their master dies, they die as well. So you don't have to fight them. If you want to, you certainly can. But they are paladins, and they hit really hard. They have the parry trait, so the next attack that hits them is the damage is reduced by 1d80. Okay, so they get a chance to roll for a possible 80 damage reduction. They have an additional spell slot for Divine Smites, and they do have Dreadful Hewer, so the foes have disadvantage on saving throws to resist their spells. So they are pretty good-sized enemies to deal with, so just showing them a hand, making your way in here is the overall best way to go about it. Okay, now entering this room, you can explore up to the left and right. There's nothing up here, though, on either side. Okay, there's nothing in the vases or anything like that, but you can kind of see there's an upper area up here. And here, we're probably going to get another save. And sitting on the throne is Saravok Anchev. Now, for those of us who played the first two games, this was a massive reveal for us. Saravok was trying to be the chosen of Baal back in Baldur's Gate 2. And seeing him be resurrected here is amazing. Now, Sarevok has legendary resistance, which you would expect. He also has a legendary action, and that's Murderous Retort. So, once per round, Sarevok can use his legendary action to immediately strike back at an attacker. Okay? If Deathbringer's Legacy is active, Sarevok uses Deathbringer's Assault instead of a normal attack. So basically what this is once per round, he gets a riposte. Basically, once you attack him, he will immediately strike back with an attack. Now, Deathbringer's Assault is a massive attack. It's 20 D10 here that comes back at you. Now, Deathbringer's Assault is only triggered if he has Legacy. Okay? And you're going to see how this kind of plays out once we get into a fight with him. And you'll kind of see that coming up a little bit. Hey, Dodge. Yeah, I mean, and like I say, everybody has their own opinions about the game. I'm certainly enjoying it, but if you're not, then, you know, that's certainly up to you. But thank you for being here. So let's go in here and we'll have a conversation.
You gaze upon murder's progeny, child.
His most ill-trusted zealots.
His faithful departed.
Prodigal servants, each returns to do his bidding eternally.
This is the court of the Dread Lord's Tribunal. I am its custodian. Here come those who seek to transcend, aspirants of his most profane order, the would-be unholy assassins of Baal. But you are no mere aspirant. I did not expect to see you again. So it is true. You have returned.
Saravok Anchev, a Baal spawn who failed to become chosen long ago. Spilled stain of father's divine essence left out to dry. Is he your cousin, great-uncle, brother even? Baal's bilious waters are always a little murky.
Hey, and this cutscene plays out entirely different. If you are not playing as the Dark Urge, right now you would be offering up a hand. An apparition would pop up out of the blood pool in front of you, and you would be forced to defend or pass a deception check for the killing. Unless it is Gale's hand or Gortash's hand, who you actually would have killed. The bag of hands and the clown's hand and that sort of stuff, you have to pass a deception check to make them believe that you're the one that killed them. As a Dark Urge, though, you don't have to do any of that. Sarevok recognizes you immediately, and that's how this whole conversation is going to play out.
I have heard it said you lost your memories. Let me revive them. You were once Baal's favorite. You worshipped him the way he would wish. Your bloodlust innate. Your thirst for butchery unslakable. But you were foolish enough to think yourself untouchable. You didn't see Orin rising through the ranks. You were blinded by her artistry, her devotion. You believed she worshipped you as much as all the others. Your fall was as spectacular as your birth. The purest Baalspawn there ever was. Ruined by her own hubris. But now, you have returned. Tell me, are you here to have your vengeance on my granddaughter?
Okay, so now you learn that Orin is Saravok's granddaughter. She's actually a little more than that, and like the first of the cutscene said, the family tree here with Bhaal's offspring is very, very murky, and it's a bit intertwined, so to speak. We're going to learn more about that when we get into the Bhaal Temple, so I'm not going to spoil anything for now, but Orin is indeed Saravok's granddaughter.
She is the child of my child, and your bloodkin. But she only seeks the Baalian favor you were born to inherit. She may have usurped you once, but all her rites and rituals will never match her to your natural gift. Bhaal is about to name a new chosen. All is between you and my granddaughter, Arin, now. And Arin has much to learn. Our Lord does not care for beauty. Bhaal cares only for death. Death in numbers. Death in droves. It is a lesson Arin will only learn in death. I wonder if you will be the one to teach her. She seeks to sacrifice you in our father's temple. She dreams that your corpse will be her masterpiece. But she forgets, before your incident, you were the true master. You were murder. Pure murder. No excesses. No pretensions. I believe you will be the one to slay Arin. And when you do, remember Grandfather Saravok. Remember how he helped you. Return to visit him. And tell the blood-drenched tale of your victory. We have a sacrifice prepared for you, child of murder. Let us celebrate your becoming.
Okay, and Sarevok is going to head off into this room over here, and the apparitions are gone. Before we go in there, though, we're going to head over here. And just look at a couple of things. Okay, not a whole lot that can be done in here, but there is some. Especially here in Saravok's office, quote unquote.
A quick rummage.
Okay, so again, just picking up some of the trash that's around here. Okay, and last thing, we can search the desk here. And again, you can read all of these. It's just background lore, but you learn a little bit about the family tree here. And you learn about someone named Helena. And you find out that Helena was Saravok's daughter. And in her I planted my Lord's seed, and thus did we beget the blood lamb Orin. So Helena is Saravok's daughter, but then Orin is his daughter's daughter, but he is also her father. So he was her grandfather and her father, so a bit of an incestual coupling there led to the birth of Orin. And this you're going to learn or you're going to explore a little bit deeper. Like I said, once we get into the Bhaal Temple. Now, all of the cells here are locked, but there is a keychain down here at the end. And there's the prison key. Okay, so again, not a whole lot in here. Mostly more trash. I might have forgotten a couple of things over here. I did.
Very well, then.
Fist Orville here, you can search. He does not respond to Speak with the Dead. You don't have to worry about casting that on him. And then in here we can pick up the last wooden bowl. Okay, now on my way out here, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna separate out my bard. Take everybody else. I'm gonna put them up here. And put them into hiding.
Mind, never quiet. These boots have seen everything.
You can get into here before Sarevok opens this door, but you might as well just let him open it. And then you have Valeria here, and Sarevok is here, and all of the echoes are now in here as well. This is not all of the echoes. There are a bunch more that will appear if you decide to defy Sarevok during this ritual. We're not going to. We're going to do what Sarevok wants us to do, and in doing so, this would break our oath as well. Now, whoever lands the killing blow on Valeria is the one that suffers any consequences. So if you have a paladin in your party, you do not want them breaking or getting the killing blow. If you are the paladin, like I am here, you don't want to get the killing blow. You want somebody else in your party to get it. But if you are the killing blow, it will break your oath. And that's why I'm doing this now, is so that I can't break my oath again in here.
Come, child of Bhaal. Offer thanks unto your father for your birth, and in so doing, be reborn anew. Slaughter this celestial being, spill its blood into the void, and through eradication of its goodness, be exalted.
Okay, so here, if you choose this option down here, you will immediately go into a fight against Sarevok and all of the echoes. And like I say, there are 6 more echoes, I think, that will spawn in here as well. You do have a choke point back there at the door. So you can, if you win initiative, move back toward that door and kind of fight in that location. But the fight is significantly harder if you do it that way, and you're going to miss out on something that we want to deal with. I've always hated Valeria, so I have no compunctions about murdering it right here.
Spare no violence for the Dreadlord's grace, and savor every moment of the creature's slaughter.
That's immediately going to put you into turn-based mode with just you and Valeria. Oh, and you can see the other echoes that have spawned. So there are 12 more echoes that spawn. These are much lower hit points than the echoes, but there are more that you would have to fight.
I'll strike you down.
Someone will
Okay, I'm
stop
not going to
you,
use any
Bhaalist.
divine smites here.
When they do, I hope it hurts.
Citizen, stop
Okay.
this at once!
Valeria does not get to fight back. Oh, geez, come on, you're kidding me.
Please stop. Try me without these chains on.
Wow.
Coward.
I mean, I mean, come on. Thank you.
Behold, Father Baal, your lost child, bathed anew. Arise, unholy assassin.
His most unholy will be done.
Take this amulet, child, and return it to your father's chamber. You are the true inheritor of his will, and he would smile to see you wear it. Cleanse the temple of Aren's girlish shrines, and bring your primal slaughter back to Baal. There is nothing more I can teach you, but if you bring about her death, return to me. We shall revel in the divine memory together, as family.
Okay, and then all of the ghosts are going to disappear. The echoes and Saravok are going to head out to the other chamber. We're going to get an inspiration for that. And that's going to complete investigate the murders and impress the murder tribunal. Okay. So we were anointed as the unholy assassin, and we just need to get and this is going to gain us access to the Temple of Baal. You'll see more about that a little bit later. Now we have the Bhaalist amulet in the location. We can finally face Orin. And Yurgir's contract is going to keep coming back. And we have completed Astarian's questline as well. Now what we got was the Amulet of Baal. So on hit, inflict bleeding upon targets that have maximum hit points. Okay, so this is a way for me to inflict bleeding, and bleeding is they're gonna take 2 slashing damage. However, that's not really the point. This gives me as a bard by myself a way to inflict bleeding if I make a hit against somebody who has full hit points while they're bleeding, which according to this would be for the next 2 turns, I believe. No, it's just constant bleeding. So as long as it's going because of Bhaal's benediction, I have advantage on my attack rolls. This becomes really important later. Something that we got from Bhaal's benediction way back in Act 2, pairing up with this amulet here in Act 3, so that now when I get into solo one-on-one combats, I'm able to cause bleeding and have advantage on attack rolls. And you'll see how that plays out when we get into an encounter a little bit later. Okay. So now, searching Valeria, we're going to get investigation priorities. We don't need this anymore. We've already completed the investigation of them. And this chest, I believe, is locked. It is. But that's not a big deal for me. So we've got some arrows, some gold. Can make our way around here. I don't think there's anything in the vases back here, but there... Oh, yes, sorry. Saravok's golden key.
Let's have a look.
That key actually is what opens this, I believe. Okay, and now we're going to head out. Now, nothing in here changes because of us being the unholy assassin. Okay, you don't get any benefits or anything like that, with the exception of one thing, and that's there's a new echo out here. The echo of a Cazador, and you can see that he's marked as a vendor.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Spawn, you speak to another of your fallen family. It is heartening to see a child once again brimming with promise. All us wretched specters, Bhaal's failures, are watching your rise with great anticipation. In life, I was a Barzigal, kin killer of the Five. In death, I serve our father still, until the world grows silent. I offer you instruments which will aid in enacting your foul whims.
Okay, and a Cazador only shows up if you choose to become the unholy assassin, and that means you have to kill Valeria to get her to show up. Okay, now a Cazador sells one of the best items in the game for your Gloomstalker Assassin Rogue Ranger build. Okay, and that item is the Bhaalist armor. It's light armor, which means you can use your max dexterity bonus to your armor. It's an armor class of 14, which is really nice for light armor. And the ambusher trait gets you a +2 bonus to initiative rolls, but that's not what makes this powerful. The aura of murder is one of the best conditions you can inflict on an enemy in this game. Enemies within 2 meters of you become vulnerable to piercing damage unless they are resistant or immune to it. Okay? So all you have to do is walk up next to somebody while you're wearing this, and they become vulnerable to piercing damage. Now, why does that matter? Most of the light and finesse weapons that you're going to find in this game are all piercing damage. Okay, daggers all the way up to short swords like this are all piercing. All right. Now, that means that you're going to be doing double damage with every attack that you do when you have this on. Now, how else does this synergize? Astarion right now is carrying the resonance stone, which we can't see in here because he can't sell it. I don't believe. Yeah, it's not in here. The resonance stone gives you the steeped in bliss trait, which makes you vulnerable to psychic damage. The render of mind and body is a short sword that, while you're concentrating on something, allows you to deal psychic damage. So with the aura of murder and steeped in bliss, you can be doing double damage from the piercing, double damage from the psychic, and then you're normally concentrating on something like either Hunter's Mark or Hex or something like that, which is going to add bonus damage on top of that. And since that psychic damage on Render of Mind and Body Short Sword is a damage rider as a damage source, you're going to be doing all of that twice. And that's where this piece of armor in one strike, and especially if you've gone the crit build version of that, so you're critting on 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, when you do a crit, you're now doing 4 times damage. And you can easily do 100 hit points of damage in one single crit strike. And remember, the Gloomstalker Assassin, you're critting on every attack against enemies that have not taken a turn yet. So this is the armor that makes that entire build work. And the only way to get it here is by killing Valeria. All right. Now, normally, I would come in here and buy all of this stuff up, but you can see 5,130 gold, 1,121, another 1,000, another 500. And again, the Crater Flesh gloves, when you deal a crit, again, for your Gloomstalker Assassin builds, you're going to be dealing additional 1d6 force damage as well. The Bhaalist gloves lets you garrote, but it also gives you a +1 to your attack rolls. Garrote is meh. It lets you. We saw it in Act 2. It lets you do continuous bludgeoning damage to a target that fails to resist the strength saving throw. The Assassin of Bhaalcal gives you dark vision if you don't already have it, and you gain a +2 to initiative rolls, which is really nice. The See Invisibility spell is meh. The Vicious Shortbow, the Vicious Battle Axe, the the Dolor Amorous all deal 7 additional damage whenever you crit. So if you have Dolor Amorous in your offhand, as your Gloomstalker Assassin, you're dealing an additional 7 damage on top of that piercing damage that's already there, that's doubled because of the Bhaalist armor. The Flesh Render really comes with a weapon unlock, and that is part the flesh. So with this, you can, and forget about the other stuff, the psychic or the fire damage, the psychic damage, the radiant damage. That's coming from me as the bard, but it's doing +4 bludgeoning and +4 necrotic, and then for 3 turns you can't gain any hit points. Okay, so normally I would come in here and buy these up. This is also a good place to get Crawler Mucus to paralyze people from range, Blackened Furnace red dye and red dyes and that sort of stuff, but I need to up his attitude if I'm going to do this. Okay, and as such, I need to respec to level 1, but I can't do that.
Bring deaths for Baal, hallowed child, or die in his name.
I can't do that with a broken oath. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make my way back out of here. Because I'm red bordered. I can't fast travel. Okay, and I'm going to head to camp. Okay, now in camp here is the Oathbreaker Knight.
I have been waiting for you. I felt the moment of your liberation, the shedding of your bond. You called to me. I am here to show you the way. I was the first to swear,
the first to fall. When another's oath is broken, I stand witness. I hear their sorrow. I see their jubilation. I guide their hand. Oathbreaker. You swore to deliver vengeance, to hunt down those who had wronged, and ensure they felt the sting of justice. Tell me, why did you abandon your oath? A lapse in judgment. To know the reason for your fall is, perhaps, to know the shape of things to come. Take comfort in your undoing. I, like you, abandoned my cause. But much can still be achieved. Your oath is broken. The light within you fades. A new power is awakening.
Okay, now you can continue to be an Oathbreaker Knight and still function as a paladin. Your divine smites are still going to work. You just have access to different spells, and your oath charges do something different. However, if you are an Oathbreaker, you cannot respec your character. So that's what I absolutely have to do right now for the next two things that we're going to do. So I need to regain my oath to continue on down this path.
It is possible, but such a promise must not be made lightly. Wealth must be sacrificed, and your soul repledged. It is wise to first consider what is gained, and what is lost in the bargain. Should you wish to do so, speak with me again. You may refuse, but this alone will not restore what was lost. Without light to guide you, or darkness to consume, you will remain adrift, powerless. Until that day, I will be here. And my offer will remain.
Okay, now I'm going to talk to him again.
You are between worlds, Paladin. Have you made a choice?
And here you can wish to take up your oath again.
It is possible. First, you must pay the agreed price. Material sacrifice is required to prove your words have substance. Do you wish to pay?
And it's 1,000 gold. There's no way that you can drop this number. It is what it is. Now, the first time you reclaim your oath, it's 1,000 gold. The second, if you break your oath again, and you want to reclaim your oath a second time, it's 2,000 gold. The next time, it's 3,000 gold. And it keeps going up every time, because the game wants you to be thinking about your decisions before you make them. We deliberately went into the Cazador encounter knowing we were going to break our oath. But we knew that we were going to have something else that was going to break our oath with Valeria. So we didn't want to reclaim our oath after Cazador, then break it again and have to pay 2,000 more gold to get it back again after Valeria. And that's why we did what we did in the order that we did it.
The price is paid. Tell me, why do you wish to reclaim your oath? A higher purpose, a greater calling. Kneel, Oathbreaker. You swear to deliver righteous retribution, vanquishing your enemies and aiding those who suffer at their hands. The oath of vengeance is once more yours to fulfill.
Okay, and now we have our Candlehallow charges back, and we have Inquisitor's Might back. Okay, now what does that... Again, we've reclaimed our oath. Why did we want to do that?
Keep a blade close.
Okay, so we're going to bring Astarion over here.
Over here.
We're going to check Withers. He doesn't have anything.
All right.
So we are going to...
What's up for discussion?
Respec.
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead? As thou desire.
Okay, now we're going to make a little bit of a change here in preparation for the second thing that we're going to do. So we're going to change to a cleric. And my deity, I'm going to change to anything but Selûne. Does not matter what it is, just not Selûne. For your abilities here, I'm going to assign my +2 to intelligence, and I'm going to drop my wisdom down and get my intelligence to 16. It seems odd, okay, for a cleric build, and it is. I'm also going to change to make sure that I have religion as a proficient skill. Okay, the rest of this stuff, my cantrips, you should gain guidance by default, but if you're not, make sure you have it. Okay, other than that, I'm going to confirm. Now, before I do anything for leveling up, I'm going to leave camp. And I'm going to head back in here to Saravok's chamber.
What path lies before me?
And I'm going to talk to the Echo of Abazagal.
Honored Spawn, have you come to peruse the instruments once more?
Okay, and now I'm going to barter. And I'm going to give him 400 gold. That's going to up his attitude to 100, and what was 5,500 is now 6,480. Wait, what? That's because I am not leveled up. My persuasion is still only +1. So I'm not gaining the 100% or 112% bonus to discount that I had previously. That's why the price appears to have gone up. But when I level up my bard skills and get that persuasion back up to 12, then this number, instead of being 5,400 like it was, is like 3,400. So I saved 2,000 gold by offering that 400 gold up in trade. So I come out 1,600 gold on top. However, if I would have regained my oath and then broken it again and had to pay another 2,000 gold to get my oath back again, I'd be 400 gold in the hole right now on doing that. And that's why it's important, the order in which you do these things. Now, I'm not going to buy anything here.
Bring deaths for Baal, hallowed child.
I want to up his attitude.
In his name.
But I'm not going to buy anything. Okay, and I'm going to again leave here. Because while I have level 1 available to me, and I have a respec that I've already selected to do, there's something else I want to do with that respec.
Better not be cursed.
And for that, I'm going to fast travel over to the Baldur's Gate waypoint. And I'm going to head back into the House of Grief. because there is something that we left undone here inside the House of Grief that we want to do now. And we're doing this because we had to do a respec anyway. So if we're going to respec, we might as well put that respec to some good use in addition to raising that vendor's attitude. So we'll head back down into the cloister, and we're going to go all the way to the back. The Stairway of Doom here. This is where Shadowheart's parents were. Right here. But we are going back here to the back to the Mirror of Loss. Okay. Now, the Mirror of Loss has an ability here in that if you pass a DC 25 religion check with any of your characters, you then are given a 60% chance to get a +2 bonus to any stat. And that +2 bonus is permanent, and you can pick which stat you want it to go to. There's also an opportunity here to gain another +1 to charisma. Okay. And the way that works is that the Mirror of Loss is going to ask you to give up memories. Every memory corresponds to one of the 6 attribute stats that you have. And as soon as you give up a memory, you become cursed and you get a -2 to that stat. So that means that you only have 6 memories that are available to you to give up. Now there is a 7th. Whoever read the Necromancy of Thay, in this case myself, has forbidden knowledge. Okay? You can give up the forbidden knowledge, and that will give you the same bonus as if you pass the DC 25 religion check. Right? So for me, I have an additional chance to get that +2. However, if you pass the DC 25 religion check up front, like I say, you get a 60% chance to get a +2 bonus. Once you get that +2 bonus, the mirror's done. You can't use it again. You would have only a 20% chance to get the +1 charisma bonus. And then a 20% chance to just not get any bonus. Okay? If you don't do the DC 25 religion check, then you always have a 20% bonus or 20% chance to get the +1 to charisma. Now what that means is that you can start giving up memories, and if you give up strength, you have a 20% chance to get the charisma bonus. You give up dex, you have another 20% chance to get it, and another 20% chance. Now then you've got 3 memories left, and if you don't get it, then you need to probably pass the DC 25 religion check so that you have at least 2 chances at 60% each to get the +1 ability score, or the +2 ability score, and then you would be sacrificing the +1 ability score to charisma. The ultimate goal here for my bard is to get a +3 to charisma. Get the +1 from the Patriarch's memory, a 20% chance each time I give one up, and then hopefully get it, and then pass the religion check and get another +2 to charisma. I have to get very lucky for that to happen. Again, it's only a 20% chance when you're giving up memories. Okay, and once I get down to giving up my 4th one, I need to change over so that I can at least get the +2. Okay, and I'm taking a chance because that's 2 60% chances that I might fail them both and not get anything. So if you're doing this outside of honor mode, you definitely want to drop a save. Quick saves work while you're in the middle of this. So you can drop a save, give up that first one. If you don't get the +1 to charisma, you can reload and then reload and reload until you get it. Then immediately pass the religion check, give up your second memory, and get the +2. If you don't get it, you can just keep doing it over and over and over again until you reloading and do it. I don't have that option here. It's wherever the dice fall. Now, again, there is a way in honor mode to do it, to skip out of this, so that you can reset this. I'm not going to do it though. I'm going to let the dice roll, and it's wherever they land is whatever I get. So I've got a +1 here. I started as a cleric. I'm going to do my level up here. And from here on, I'm going to multi-class as rogue. Okay, so for my abilities, I'm going to expertise into religion. So that's a +7 now. I don't care where my other stats fall in here. Rogue level 2, there's nothing there. Rogue level 3, we don't care what our subclass is. Rogue level 4, our feat. We're going to take ability improvement. We're going to up our intelligence to 18. Level 5 doesn't matter. Level 6, our skills don't matter because we've already got a +7 here. We don't need anything else. Level 7 doesn't matter. Rogue level 8, we get our second feat. And again, ability improvement to intelligence. Rogue level 9, we don't care about. Rogue level 10, there's a new feat. We don't care what that feat is. Rogue level 11 is what's important. At Rogue level 11, you get the reliable talent skill. Whenever you make an ability check with a skill you are proficient with, and again, that's why we took Cleric at the start, was to be proficient with religion skill checks, the lowest result you can roll on the die is a 10. That means we can't roll a nat 1. We cannot fail this, and we cannot roll less than a 10. Okay? So now what we need to make sure of is that since it's a DC 25 check, if we roll a 10, we need a +15 to our religion. Right now we've got +13. Okay, so we're going to shapeshift. There is a ring that I don't think I have. We don't need it.
I'm ready.
But I'll see if I have it. There's a ring here, the Mage's Friend.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Which gets you +1 to religion. Okay, so now my religion is at +14, but this does not include Mark of the Shifter. So now if I roll a 1, minimum Mark of the Shifter, that's +15. Now I cannot fail the religion check. If you don't have the Mage's Friend ring, or you don't have the Mark of the Shifter set, that's where guidance comes in, because you can get one of those two back by casting guidance. Okay? If you also have a bard in your party and you can hire one as a hireling, they can cast bardic inspiration on you, and that would give you an additional +1. So now we cannot fail the religion check. All right? But again, we've only got a 20% chance to give up a memory and get the +1 to charisma. And then at some point, if we don't get it, we're going to have to change over. And we're going to have to start with the 60% chances to try and get a +2 to charisma. So let's see what we get.
A huge polished disc looms before you. A mirror, one used by the Sharans to plunder memories from the minds of others.
Okay, so we do not want to do the religion check first. Okay, we want to start by just offering our memories.
The mirror's emptiness seems to draw you into a stupefying embrace. Your thoughts, feelings, memories, they grow slow and drowsy, drifting away from each other. You must surrender some part of yourself. But what?
Okay, and here's the forbidden knowledge that we can sacrifice. We do not want to give that up. Okay, so strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So you have 6 chances to give up memories here in total. So we're going to give up our first one. It doesn't matter where you start.
Something precious was surrendered. Already you cannot recall its exact nature, but you feel its loss all the same. Still though, for whatever was lost, something new shall be gained. A foreign sensation assails you. For a moment, you do not feel like yourself. You embody a merchant.
Okay, we did not get it.
His wife died, and he cannot bear to go on. Only the House of Grief can help him. Whatever power lurks deeper in the recesses of the mirror has no interest in you. The dark mirror seems to turn dormant. Its hunger sated.
Okay, so we did not get it, and we've got a -2 to strength. Now, we want to keep our wisdom high, or our intelligence high, okay? So we want to give up intelligence last before we try and make the religion check, all right? So I'm going to try again. I'm not going to wait for all the dialogues. I'm just going to fast forward through it because we've seen the dialogues are all the same until you get to the results of the memory.
The huge mirror stares down at you. The mirror is empty. You must surrender some
So
part
we're going
of
to give
yourself.
up dexterity next.
You feel parts of your own still though. A foreign sense. You embody a heartbroken
so we didn't get it again.
heiress, desperate to forget an unrequited whatever path the dark mirror.
Okay, so I've given up 2.
The huge mirror stares down at you. The mirror is
So now we'll give up
emptiness.
Constitution.
You must surrender some part of yourself. The gaps in your mind still though. A foreign sensation. Your mind is that of a corrupt
And we did not
alderman,
get it.
eager to forget his transgressions. You feel them fade away. Whatever the dark mirror.
Okay, so now we have a choice. We've got 3 memories left. Okay? If we roll the religion check here, then there's a 60% chance that we're going to get the +2. Still a 20% chance that we get the +1 to charisma. And a 20% chance that we're going to roll something that we've already rolled or something useless. Okay? If we don't do the religion check yet, then we still only have that 20% chance. But we don't have that 60% chance of ending the mirror and giving us the +2. Okay, so when you've given up about half of your memories, this is kind of where the break point is. So I think I'm probably going to take the chance here to roll one more time. To give up one more memory, and then if I don't get it, I'm going to roll the religion check, and I'm going to have 2 chances at 60% each to get the +2. I might not get it. I'm taking a huge chance here. Having 3 chances at 60% would be much better. Okay, so I'm taking a massive chance here, but I really want to try and get that +1.
The huge mirror stares down. The mirrors, and you must surrender some part
So again,
of
I do not want to
yourself.
give up intelligence next.
But what?
I'll give up wisdom.
The gaps in your mind still there. A foreign set you embody
And
an
I did not
officer
get
of
it.
the City Watch.
I've rolled every single one of them
in
except
the recesses of the mirror.
that memory.
Dark
So now I don't really have a whole lot of choice.
The huge mirror stares.
I'm going to offer up the religion, take the religion. So I can roll a minimum of 10, and my minimum bonus is 15. So I'm guaranteed to pass it.
You feel a presence, dark and ancient. It approves of your fealty.
Okay, so now I can offer up a memory.
Emptiness seems to you must surrender some part of yourself.
Okay, and again, I can offer up any of these last two. Since I've already passed the check, I don't have to pass it again. So I can give up intelligence.
The gaps in your mind grow still there. A foreign sensation, disappointment.
I got the plus
mind.
one. That's the plus one to charisma.
Stalemate, but Lord Enver Gortash has stolen your support.
This is coming down to the wire.
Charming and cajoling in the parlors of the upper city, wasted. The memory fades. The dark mirror.
Okay. So now if I look at my charisma, you can see down at the bottom, plus one from Patriarch's memory. Okay. So now I've passed the religion check. So now it all comes down to one final roll here. I have a 60% chance to get a plus 2, which I would put into charisma. A 20% and a 40% chance to get something useless that doesn't give me any more bonuses. So it's a little bit better than a coin flip here as to whether or not I'm going to get the plus 2. So here we go.
The huge mirror stares down at you. The mirrors, you must surrender some part of yourself. But
last chance.
The gaps in your mind grow still there. You feel the presence of something
and I got the plus
ancient
2.
and unknowable. It has taken notice of you. It seems to be intrigued by you. Where once the mirror showed nothing, there is now something. Memories, experiences, skills, all prized from the minds of others, and now offered to you to choose from.
Okay, and this is where you're allowed to pick what you want the plus 2 to go to. Strength, dexterity, or constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Adoring looks, spawning laughter, and nods of agreement are your constant companions. Is there anything a quick tongue and a warm smile cannot achieve? The memory fades away, yet it leaves its mark on your mind. The dark mirror seems to turn dormant, its hunger sated.
So that was not scripted. It was not scripted. It took us down to our final roll, but we got exactly what we wanted. So now if I hover over charisma, look down at the bottom. I have a plus 2 from the Bard's memory and a plus 1 from the Patriarch's memory. So I gained a plus 3 to my charisma stat. Now right now, I've given up all of my memory, so I have a minus 2 to every single stat. That will go away when you take a long rest. Okay, it's not permanent. I could cast Remove Curse on myself as well, but I don't have to. It's going to go away when I take my long rest. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so now let's do the same things for the rest of my party members. And we don't care about charisma nearly as much on my other characters. We'll try and get it. But if we don't, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and we're going to leave Astarion till last. Shadowheart cannot benefit from the mirror if she has forsaken Szarr, which we have. So there's no benefit for her to be here for this. And as such,
this hell. Maybe
we're going to bring Minthara into our party. in place of Shadowheart.
You wish to consult me? Admirable ambition. A paragon of wisdom.
Okay.
Moving ahead.
And I'm going to have Minthara do a respec.
Out of my way.
Because again, Shadowheart can't get a +2 or a +1 from this at all.
Attend to me.
Thou hast now a bosom companion. Take care. Recall. Fate, dost thou require a new as thou...
And the same. Going to start with Cleric. Make sure I've got Guidance. My Deity, I'll leave it as Lolth. It's not Saluna. That's all that matters. Make sure that we have Religion. And confirm. Then I'm going to have Astarion come up.
Ready or not.
Peel that back. Bring Karlach up.
Fate, dost thou require a new as thou...
And again, Cleric. Change the Deity to anything. He's got Guidance. And Religion is there.
Trust no.
Okay, and now Astarion's going to be last.
Almost too easy.
Because we want his pickpocket skills to be up there to be able to do that. So we will respec him.
Thou walkest alone. Love is no domain of mine, and thou... Fate, dost thou require an as thou desire...
And start again as a Cleric. And Religion is there. Yep. Okay, and now we're going to level everybody up. Okay, so again, level 2, and for the remainder of it, we're going to go with Rogue. None of this matters. Again, I'm not going to have him do any Rogue stuff. Change that onto Thief just so we don't have to select a bunch of stuff. Feat, ability improvement. Skills, we want to Expertise Religion. New feat. Again, we don't care about this feat. And there's our reliable talent. Karlach, same exact thing. So for our abilities, Expertise, Religion, and again, you have 2 chances here at level 2 and then 1 more at level 7 to Expertise skills. So if you miss it the first time like I did, then you can get it the second time around. But make sure you Expertise Religion. Again, the skills here don't matter because we've already got the +7 in Religion. 6 feet. Don't care about this one. And there's reliable talent. And last will be Minthara. Now Minthara, being a paladin and being a Pact of the Blade Warlock paladin, the +1 to charisma is important to her, just like it was to my bard. So we want to try and do the same thing with her that we do with my bard. But as far as the classing goes, it's the exact same set of stuff. Again, skills don't matter because we've already got religion at +7. Last feat doesn't matter. And there's reliable talent. Now we can leave camp and we can run all 3 of these characters through the mirror. Now, again, we're going to swap over. We're going to have Band of the Mystic Scoundrel go back on here, and we'll do Astarion first. Make sure we put on Mage's Friend. Okay, and then we'll have him start interacting with the mirror. And again, whether he gets the +1 to charisma or not matters very, very little for Astarion. Okay, so if we get through the first 2 or 3 and we don't get it, then I'm immediately going to swap over to the religion check to guarantee that we get the to help guarantee that we get the +2.
A huge polished disc looms before you. The mirrors, you must surrender some part of yourself.
Start with strength.
Still though, a foreign sense you embody a
okay, we didn't get it.
Whatever path the dark. The huge mirror stares down the mirrors.
So we're going to offer up one more. This is Dex.
The gaps in still though. A foreign your mind is that of a corrupt,
we didn't get it.
Whatever power the dark mirrors.
Okay, so now I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to immediately swap over to the religion check.
The huge mirror stares down at you like a great dark eye.
That's going to be a good size number. 37 on a religion check. Gotta like that.
You feel a presence, dark and ancient.
Okay, so we'll offer up our next memory and a 60%. We still have a 20% chance to get the +1 charisma, but a 60% chance to get the +2 and then not be able to get the +1 afterward.
The gaps in your mind grow still though. A foreign sense of disappointment.
Okay, so we got the +1 charisma.
You were sure to succeed, Stelmane, but
if you hear about Stelmane and Gortash, that's the +1 charisma.
The huge mirror stares the mirrors. You must surrender some part of you. The gaps in your mind still there. You feel the presence of something
That's the
ancient and unknowable. It seems where once the mirror showed nothing.
So now with Astarion, we want to take wisdom. Wisdom is going to be getting us bonus modifiers to both our damage and our armor class. So we're going to take the wisdom option here.
Experience fills you. The memory of the dark mirror.
Okay, and now Astarion is done. And you can see you got a +1 from Patriarch's memory down at the bottom there. And his wisdom is now +2 from Mother Superior's memory. So Karlach. Karlach, again. Now with Karlach, getting the +1 to charisma is going to just help get us an additional bonus, but if we don't get it, it's not going to, again, be a detriment to her build. So we'll do the same thing with her. But let's swap back Astarion, all of these things, and then move these all to Karlach.
Hey, good looking.
Whoops. And we're going to swap that back out for the Eversight ring on Astarion. The silver pendant we'll swap back out for that. And this goes here. Then for Karlach, Shapeshifter's Boon. Shapeshift her. Put on Mage's Friend. And we will run her through the mirror.
A huge polished disc looms before the mirrors. You must surrender some part of yours. Something still though. A foreign. You embody a merchant.
We did not get
whatever
it.
Power the dark. The huge mirror stares down the mirror. You must surrender some part of yourself. The gaps in still though. A foreign. You embody whatever power lurks deeper in the recesses of the mirror.
The same thing again.
Dark mirror.
So we didn't get it again. So now I'm immediately going to swap over to the religion check.
Stares down at you like a great dark eye. You feel a presence, dark and ancient. The mirror's emptiness. You must surrender some part of yourself. The gaps in your still there. A foreign. Your mind is that of a corrupt
so we didn't
alderman,
get
eager to forget
either
his
the +1 or the +2.
The dark mirror. The huge mirror stares down at the mirror's empty. You must surrender some part of yourself. The gaps in your mind still there. You feel the presence of something
There's the
ancient
+2.
and unknowable. It seemed where once the mirror showed nothing.
Okay, now for Karlach, I'm taking dexterity.
Memories.
This is going to
skills,
to help with my initiative order for her.
To choose from.
Again, there are two ways that you can work this build out. If you're not using elixirs for Karlach, then it's probably going to benefit you better to take strength. I'm not doing that. So I'm using elixirs with Karlach, so I don't care about her strength. So now I'm going to focus on dex instead, and that's this one here.
You escape across the rooftops of Baldur's Gate. The memory, the dark mirror.
Okay, so now for her, I have a +2 from Thief's memory down there at the bottom of dexterity. And last is Menthara, and here we want to try and get the +3 to charisma.
There can be no respite.
Let's march.
Our enemies are everywhere.
Okay, it doesn't really matter what I shapeshift her to be. Okay, and now she should have +14 to religion, plus Mark of the Shifter. So let's run her through it.
A A huge, polished disc looms before you. The mirrors, and you must surrender some part of you.
Let's try and get the +1 charisma.
A foreign sensation assails. You embody a
I did not get it.
Whatever the dark mirror. The huge mirror stares down the mirrors. You must surrender some part of you. The gaps still there. A foreign set. Your mind is that
I
of a
did not get it.
Whatever path the dark mirror.
We'll try one more time.
The huge mirror stares down the mirrors. You must surrender some part of yourself.
Okay,
The
Constitution.
gaps in your mind still there. A foreign set. You embody
And
an
I did not
officer
get
of
it.
the, whatever power the dark mirror seems.
Okay, so again, I have that same choice I had with my Paladin, or with my Bard Paladin. Do I want to give up one more memory and try it, or do I want to get the +2? And I'm just going to focus on the +2 here.
The huge mirror stares
I'm gonna take the
down at
religion
you
check.
with a great dark eye. You feel a presence. Dark the mirrors. You must
So
surrender
20%
some part
chance
of
to get
yourself.
nothing, 20% chance to get the +1 to
what?
charisma, and 60% chance to get a +2.
The gaps in your still there. You feel the presence
There's the
of
+2.
something. It seems where once the mirror showed nothing, there
And I'm
is
gonna take
now
that to charisma.
something. Adoring looks, spawning laughter, and nods of agreement to your memory. Fate. The dark mirror.
So now she has a +2 for Bard's memory. Okay.
Intestines
So
throb,
now
blood whispers.
everybody is kind of, they've gotten a +2 into something. We've got a bunch of -2s all over. So we need to go take a long rest. And I need to make sure we're stream safe here, just in case. I don't think I'm going to do it, but... Okay, so Astarion probably wants
How
to
much
talk to
farther
us,
can I go?
because this is the first long rest after Cazador.
A private word would be nice.
This will all happen in due time. But for now, patience is required. I hear the whispers of the night, but I can't yet speak its language. It's going to take a while to become acquainted with my new self. Everything lies ahead. I can see my path to a waking dream. From the Crimson Palace, I will govern day and night, create a city of spawn who bow before me, cast a fog over the world for my children. But first, we must manage the trifling matter of the brain. Perhaps it will listen to us. Perhaps it too will serve. I'm so lucky I crash-landed next to such an intelligent creature as you. We make a fine team, don't we?
Okay, now I don't want to try and do my respecs while I have all of these negatives, and Astarion is not specced out anywhere near what I want to do. So I don't think anybody else wants to talk with me. Well, actually they might, because this is the first after Cazador.
Even being in the presence of that amulet makes my skin crawl. It's like feeling the eyes of Baal himself settling upon us. How can I help?
Okay, so nothing else there.
The amulet of Baal. It's hardly a triumph of fashion, but it does have its uses.
You be careful with that amulet. I don't like it. At all.
Okay.
We've done what we came to do. And we're all of us sullied for it.
Let us make it worth it.
Nothing so grand. He was just another broken little ballspawn who tried to clamber to glory over the corpses of others. There was a time when he might have made more of himself. He was certainly given the chance after we threw him down, but he slunk back into his father's shadow instead. There is nothing more to say of him.
Events of the previous games that she was obviously a part of.
You wish to consult me?
Okay, nothing here.
That little hideaway that we found in the cloister, it almost felt like I'd found a piece of my childhood. A childhood I don't truly remember. But remember it or not, I felt right at home there. Surrounded by books and night orchids. Well, can you imagine what it would have been like growing up in that place? Endless training, no privacy, facing scorn wherever I looked. I can very easily imagine I needed somewhere to escape to, if I was to survive. Nocturne and I must have come here a lot. We probably had plenty we wanted to hide from. Anyway, I think that little hideaway helped shape who I am, as much as any sermon or training did. Funny the things that influence you. Most are lost forever. Some may creep back into my mind if I encounter anything that helps clear the fog. Then there's what Szarr did restore to me. Memories of pain. Suffering. Both my own and what I inflicted. It's overwhelming. Like a lifetime's worth of nightmares unleashed all at once upon waking. I can barely untangle one moment from another, not that I even want to. I just know that my heart sinks if I let my thoughts wander to them. Perhaps. But in the meanwhile, I'll just have to find a way to live with them. Yes. But it's not an easy subject to broach. Those bad memories, they're filled with my parents' faces, their cries of pain. But perhaps it will help. If I can clear the air. Szarr seeks to break people. To fill their lives with despair so that they will turn to her for relief. Perhaps she thought this would lead me back to her in time. But it won't. I fought too hard to win my freedom. I will not give it up again, no matter how much it hurts. Of course. From the first time I laid eyes on you right until now. That's all safe. I wouldn't surrender even a moment of it.
Okay, so conversations with her.
I hope that amulet proves to be worth it.
After her encounter in the cloister. Just a couple more here.
Congratulations. The amulet is yours. But don't think Valeria was the only soul you sacrificed to retrieve it.
And then we can get back to...
I sincerely hope that acquiring that amulet was the lesser of two evils.
Okay, and then we can get back. There is one other thing I want to do here, and that's actually I do want to do a respec here. I'm going to leave the 200 gold in there. I don't think Astarion was outfitted. Oh, he's got +8 to sleight of hand. Maybe he can make this work.
Just like old times.
Needs a 10.
Thank you.
Okay, he stole it. I want to respec
such a
myself here
headache.
before I go into this, because when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to get sweet stone features from the statue, and if I respec, that will disappear. So I want to respec now.
Thy wheel dost thou require anew, as thou desire.
Okay, and we're going to readjust our stat point distribution here. Okay, so I'm going to start with Bard, like I normally do. My cantrips here, I'm going to get rid of Blade Ward and add Friends. My spells, Featherfall, Long Strider, Speak with Animals, Starting Instrument doesn't matter. Here are my abilities. So, Dumping Strength, I don't need it. My Dexterity, hold on, let's drop our Intelligence to 8. My Dexterity gets the +1, up to 16. Wisdom is 10. So 8, 16. Am I missing? Oh, yeah, and 2. And Constitution goes up to 14. So 8, 16, 14, 8, 10, and 17. Now, if you have Auntie Ethel's boon and you took it in Charisma, then you can lower this to 16. Because that would get you up to 20. The +3 from the mirror, the +1 from Auntie Ethel's boon, and you could take those extra 2 points and put them either strength or intelligence to get those up to 10 and not have a negative. Since I messed that up way back in Act 1, I don't have Auntie Ethel's boon as part of Charisma. So I have to get that up to 17, and that means one of these two has to also be at 8. Okay, now as far as my skills go, I'm having all of my Bard skills up to +5. Okay, so now for my level up. Okay, at Bard level 2, I'm just going to pick a random spell, doesn't matter what it is. And at Bard level 3, we get our subclass. Okay, so our subclass is College of Swords, so we're going to go back and look at our skills here. I'm going to change these over to Persuasion and Intimidation. For my spells here, I'm going to pick Invisibility, and I'm going to swap out Animal Friendship that I picked for Old Person. My fighting style. I only have access to dueling here as the Bard. It's important that I'm leveling up my Bard first, because I only have access to dueling. If I leveled up the Paladin first, I would have access to dueling and defense. If I picked dueling as the Paladin, I would not be able to select it here as my Bard. And I would have to select 2-weapon fighting, which I do not need. Okay, so I'm going to select dueling here. And now before I level up my Bard again, I'm going to level up my Paladin. So, Oath of Vengeance. And here's what I mean about the fighting style. At level 2 Paladin, you get a fighting style. You have access to both defense and dueling. Defense gives you a flat +1 to your armor class. But if you would have selected dueling here, again, you wouldn't have access to defense. This gets me both. For my prepared spells, I want to take the other smites and Divine Favor. And Command is just way too useful. And now I switch to Warlock. Okay, for my cantrips, I'm going to get rid of Blade Ward and add Bone Chill, the Great Old One. And for my spells, I'm going to go with Hex and Tasha's. Level up here gets my Eldritch Invocations. I take Repelling Blast and Devil Sight, since we're fighting in darkness. For my next spell here, doesn't really matter. what I pick. And level 3 is the important one, where I get my Pact Boon, Pact of the Blade. Now that plus 20 Charisma is going to be my plus to hit and plus to damage with my Pact weapon. So that's why I can dump Strength and not worry about it, because I'm focused on Charisma. For my spells here, definitely taking Darkness. Now you can swap out here if you would like. We've already got Hold Person, remember that. So don't try and take it again, but I could swap this out for, I could swap out Dissonance and add in something like Misty Step or Shatter or something like that. But I think I'm fine with Whispers of Dissonance right now. And now back to leveling up my Bard. Okay, so for the feat, oh yes, this is my only feat I'm going to get. So I take Alert. Or my cantrips, doesn't really matter what I take here. I'll take Minor Illusion. And then for this, I'm taking Enhance Abilities. At level 5, I'm going to take Glyph of Warding. At level 6, I get my extra attack. A new spell, I'm going to take Plant Growth. And at level 7, I'm going to take Dimension Door. Taking this for a very specific reason, something that we're going to be encountering a little bit later on. Okay, and that's my level up. And again, I want to do that before I go to bed.
My path with corpses, build my castle with bones.
So that when I wake up, I get Sweet Stone features. And now we're going to go get into a fight. But we are going to have to get the rest of our respecs in here real quick, but those are going to go pretty quick. Okay, so we'll get Astarion over here. Pickpocket again.
What a generous pocket.
And we're going to respec Astarion first.
Fate, dost thou require, as thou do.
Okay, and now here we're going to start out as Rogue. And our ability scores are... trying to remember what we got here, because it's not going to show any of those memories in here. We took the dex, I believe, here. So this Constitution's 15, because we're going to take Tavern Brawler and up that to 16. Actually, we want this reversed. Intelligence, we dump. Dexterity is 16, 15, 8. This is 16 and 10, because he got the +1 charisma, even though he didn't need it. So, yeah, Tavern Brawler's going to up that to 16. So as far as this goes, we're going to Performance and Persuasion, I don't need. I'm going to up Athletics, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth. I actually don't want Stealth. I'm going to add this into Athletics. And then for my last one, it doesn't really matter what I pick. Okay, and then
Don't be shy.
How
we
delicious.
will level him up. Okay, so level 2 rogue. Level 3 rogue will change to thief to get the extra bonus action. And now it's all monk. Okay, so for our first feat, we're taking Tavern Brawler. That's going to allow us to up our Constitution to 16. No, that was wrong. My first feat doesn't go at rogue.
Time for discretion. A quick profit.
My first feat goes
Fate,
at
dost thou require, and as thou desire.
level 4 monk. I don't want to get level 4 rogue. My abilities are still set though. All of these are still set. So that was my fault. Thief. And now we're changing to monk on our multi-class. Okay, monk level 2, there's nothing. Monk level 3, Way of the Open Hand. Monk level 4, we get our feet. And this is Tavern Brawler. Upping that to 16. Monk level 5, we get our extra attack and our stunning strike. Monk level 6, we get our bonus damages. Monk level 7, we gain evasion. Monk level 8's our next feat, which is alert. And monk level 9, we get our key detonations as well as advanced unarmored movement. Okay, so now I should be able to easily steal from Withers. Yep, down to a 6.
Bless the oblivious.
Wanna
And
dance?
let's get Karlach.
Honk.
Respect.
Fate, dost thou require, as thou desire.
And I promise we're going to get to a fight as soon as we get these respecs done. So for Karlach, we're going to start out as the Barbarian. And our abilities for Karlach are focused around Dexterity and Constitution. So we're going to drop our Strength here. Our Dex is going up to, actually we need these reversed, to 16. Our Constitution is 17. Intelligence 8. Wisdom 12. She did not get the +1 to Charisma here, which would have given me the ability to up this to 10, and my Charisma would be 10. But I'm going to leave Intelligence down here where it was. Let me make sure. 10, 16, 17, 9, 12, and 10. If you had gotten the +1, I would have put it into, or it would have been in Charisma. I could lower that to 9. +1 would bring it to 10, and I could put that extra ability point here. And she would have had no negatives, but it didn't work out that way. So for her skills, it doesn't really matter again. Level her up. And we will immediately add in our rogue. Okay, and for here, we're going to expertise athletics and acrobatics. Okay, to help her resist being shoved and to also help her shove. Her rogue, we can continue to level up. Get to level 3 to take thief to gain the bonus action. And now we're going to add another multi-class for fighter. So get her a fighting style. None of these fighting styles really matter for her. Thrown weapons are not ranged weapon attacks. Defense, she's not wearing any armor. Dueling is the only one that's going to make any sort of sense, because she does carry a shield. She tends to throw weapons though. So, but if she does up close to somebody, she can gain an extra +2 to damage with her hit. Protection could be another way to go, but she doesn't have a way to see in the dark right now, so she doesn't stand near our other characters. Once we get her that ability to see in the dark, then protection is a much better way to go. Okay, level 2 fighter gets us action surge. Okay, level 3 fighter gets us champion. And level 4 fighter gets us our feet. And we're going to take tavern brawler, up our constitution to 18. And now we can go back to barbarian for the rest of the way. Okay, our subclass is Berserker. Once the new subclasses come out, this will be a different subclass. The feat here is Alert. And the last one gets us our extra attack. Okay, so Astarion.
Quick step. Let's prowl. Quick and easy.
We will respec Minthara, but just getting her back to level 1. I'm not going to go through a walkthrough for her yet. We don't need to. But we don't want to leave her how she is.
When
we bring her back into our party, we want to make sure that that she is ready to go. So I don't really care what I select for most of these. I do know that we're not going to need that. Our charisma is going to be our +2. Our dexterity is going to be our +1. So her charisma is fine there. And let me make sure. Yeah. That's what we need. For her skills, again, doesn't really matter. Athletics is fine. And I'm just going to leave her like that.
No one stopped
I'm
me
going to
yet.
bring Shadowheart back into the party, and we can get ready to leave.
Walk in death.
Because remember, Shadowheart
I need a
did
moment
not need a
for the two
respect.
of
May
us.
the
She
darkness
cannot
protect you.
benefit from the mirror.
A bit crowded. Lead the way then.
Okay, since I just woke up, I need to bring everybody up here. So we can, whoa, hey,
No
camera.
time to dally.
Karlak.
Just what I need.
No.
Very well.
This vessel is at thy
But the vessel only stared.
This.
How many die today? How many die tomorrow?
Okay, thoroughly stuffed.
Nothing hurts anymore. Always at your side.
My favorite, I would, but you in that case.
Okay. So now our party is back to normal. Let's look at our elixirs. Karlak is going to drink an elixir of Hill Giant Strength. Astarion is going to drink an elixir of Cloud Giant Strength.
Keep it together.
And we're going to leave camp. We're going to run a little long today because I want y'all to see some combat.
Have I been this way before?
Okay, so we're going to head back in to Candlehallow's Tombstones.
You speak as if the plague crone is not already here, striding among us. Her power waxes.
I could pay half now and half tomorrow. 2/3 even.
Do I look like
Here we go.
born in a bathtub?
Lovely day for it.
Okay, now once we're in here, we're going to get the rest of our buffs going here. Okay, Shadow Heart. Swap out to the Drake Throw Glaive. And we're going to give fire damage. I've still got the mace in my back. Okay, and then swap her back.
Attention.
No time to rest.
Okay, and then everybody's got Anointed in Splendor. Yes, I have Sweet Stone features. Everybody's got Thoroughly Stuffed. We got the 2 elixirs running. So let me make sure everybody's gear is set. Yes, we're going to go with the debilitating stuff. Karlak needs to be shapeshifted. Who's got... the helmet? Oh, I know who's got it. Okay, and then we'll shapeshift Karlak. Take off the Dwarven Thrower before you shapeshift her. Now you can put everything back on.
How many die today?
Okay.
How many die tomorrow?
Oh, and I need to bind my weapon. Alright.
Need to find a way forward.
Let's go deal with Sarevok.
Seems simple enough.
Okay, and for this I'm going to step in here and I'm going to close the door behind me. Going to separate my paladin from the group and take everybody else up here. I'm going to put them in hiding.
I can do better. I must.
Now for me,
Can't slow down.
I need to go buy these items first. Okay, so I'm going to put on the Ring of Geniality. And now my persuasion is plus 14.
I need a quick word.
Honored Spawn, have you come to peruse
So
the
now
instruments
I'm
once
getting a minus 173%. So now this only costs me 2,970, where it started out at over 5,400. Okay, now here I'm just going to buy whatever I want. Okay.
Bring deaths for Baal.
And now I'm going to send all of that to camp. Except for those. Now I can put the ring back on, and we are ready to do this. Okay. Now, for this encounter, the legendary action here is what's going to be the thing that you have to watch out for. Okay. And we need to kind of minimize how that attack lands and or where it goes when it does land. Okay, so we're going to start this off by getting our concentration going. And we'll drop a save here. And we'll drop it on Saravok.
Pick to fight. The consequences are hardly surprising.
Okay, so I rolled way before everybody else. Okay, and he has his legendary action Murderous Retort. So the first attack you land, he's going to immediately strike back. All right. So we want to do a couple of things. The first of which being...
You're making me sweat. Whisper mode.
I don't know if I can actually get through there or not. That's really interesting. That would be amazing if I could throw through that. Okay, yeah, so the path is interrupted to him there. So I don't think I can throw at Sarevok from up here. And I want to stay up here with Karlach. But let's just check it and see. Yeah. Don't think I can make this attack from up here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move Shadowheart. To a spot where I can drop darkness on everybody here. Okay. It's going to bring Shadowheart into combat, which is fine.
I could go for a good meal.
Arlak is going to throw at the Echo here.
Long and low.
Okay, I don't want you to come down. There we go. Now she has to throw. Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
Okay, so now she's going to frenzy. She's going to enrage throw. Now I have no idea why she'd have to walk down there to do it when she just threw from up here a second ago. It's so weird. I have no idea why. Okay. Didn't want to have to do this, but I can still do it. Okay, I would have preferred to kill him, but he's only got 1 hit point left, so I'm going to move back up here.
Aye, aye.
And not use my action surge.
Really? Now?
Okay, and now where are the detection cones? Let's see, now that I've moved him back, Astarion can get all the way down here. Okay, now I want the first attack to go against my Bard. Okay, my Bard has a 26 armor class, and I'm going to use a defensive flourish melee on him here to provoke that attack. Now he's blinded, so he has disadvantage on the attack, and my armor class is going to be up to 30. Might as well. Okay, and because I paralyzed him, it removed his murderous retort. Okay, now that's not going to stay there. He has legendary resistance against incapacitation. My armor class is now up to 30. That's a crit. Astarion, because he's paralyzed. So Sarevok is humanoid, but he does not. Oh, I didn't pick back up the resonant stone. Right? Yeah, I didn't pick it back up. That's why it wasn't in my inventory. So now for me, I'm just going to resonate him. This is going to be a crit. Don't need it to be Luck of the Far Realms. Okay, now I can 100 hit points. I should be able to drop him with a flurry of blows. Perfect. So he doesn't even get a chance to hit back at me. Okay, now I want to get over here to the Echo of Sendai.
Excellent.
And I'm going to drop a flurry of blows here. And now I'm going to detonate her. And that's the kill.
Still on my feet.
Okay, for me, I'm just going to move down here in between the two.
The dance
Can
macabre.
Astarion move? He can. Let's move him back out of the way a little bit so that they'd have to move
Nothing
to
important
attack
is ever
him.
easy.
My turn.
Let's end this.
Okay, and Shadowheart, let's see if she can land anything. Hello? Okay. She cast it. Oh. Counterspelled. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to move back up the stairs a little bit here to stay out of range of him. There's the opportunity attack. He's gonna have to. Oh, he's got fly. I forgot about that. Okay, so for me, let's get Astarion down here.
This way.
What is... He's undead. Okay.
I won't give
Wouldn't
in.
work on him anyway. All right. There we go.
Careful, I bite.
So all of the echoes are going to disappear.
Can't afford to stay idle. My faith will guide me.
But Sarevok will stay, and you can loot him.
Yes, please.
He's got the abattoir key, which actually this is what unlocks the chest that's over there in the abattoir. I forgot. A map to the Ball Temple. You can read this. This just tells you that it's how to get there and how to get where the temple door is. Saravok's Horned Helm. So you gain dark vision up to a range of 3 meters or 15 meters if you already have it. The number you need to roll a crit is reduced by 1. This effect can stack. You can't be frightened and cannot be afflicted with other emotion-altering conditions. This means that you cannot use it on a barbarian. They won't be able to rage or frenzy when they're using it. And the last thing is the Sword of Chaos. So on a hit, regain 1d6 hit points. This is a really good weapon for that Battle Master fighter that you have with Action Surge. They can get up to and with haste, and or a potion of speed and a couple of elixir, or one elixir, they could get up to 8 attacks per round. That means you could get anywhere from 8 to 48 hit points of healing every round that you, or for that first round where you use an action surge. So it can be a decent weapon to use. It's not something that we're going to be building around, though. And that right there will get us a good point to stop today's episode. We ran a little long just so I could get you some combat, because I know all of that respecking and Mirror of Lost stuff is, you know, kind of a pain and not very engaging gameplay. So I wanted to give you this combat here at the end to show how to deal with Saravok. At this point in our builds, Saravok is somewhat trivial. The next boss encounter that we're going to have next week is not so trivial, but we're going to try and come up with some ways to minimize the risk to us in doing so, and I will give you a little hint. It will be utilizing these. So on that note, as always, thank you all for being here. I've always said that without your support, none of this would be possible. As always, this is Commander Javal saying until next time, fare thee well.